Day 133, 2 Samuel 11, 2 Samuel 12, 1 Chronicles 20. Chronological Bible reading with original Hebrew vocabulary. The fall of the king and the secret name of the son. 2 Samuel 11. The chapter opens with a diagnosis. At the time when kings go out to war, David stayed in Jerusalem. The look from the rooftop starts the classic sin sequence in 3 verbs. He saw, he sent, he took. Uriah, the faithful foreign Hittite, refuses to go down while the ark is in the open field. David writes the letter. The sword of Ammon does the work. The chapter ends in a single phrase. The thing displeased Yahweh. 2 Samuel 12. Yahweh sends Nathan. The prophet tells the parable of the poor man's ewe lamb, and David, still blind, condemns himself, deserves to die. 3 Hebrew words turn the story. Atah ha-ish, you are the man. David confesses, I have sinned against Yahweh. Forgiveness is immediate, but the sword will never depart from the royal house. And at the birth of Solomon, Yahweh gives a secret name, Jedidiah, beloved of Yah. 1 Chronicles 20. The chronicler omits Bathsheba. He focuses on the victory over Rabbah and the extinction of the Philistine giants, descended from Rapha. Today you will learn words like Atah ha-ish, you are the man, 3 words that turn the parable against the king. Bazah, to despise, the gravest verb of contempt against Yahweh. And Yedidiah, beloved of Yah, the secret divine name Solomon receives after sin. Tomorrow we continue the chronological plan with day 134. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss a single day of this daily Bible reading, and comment what stood out to you today, or a message to strengthen the faith of those who follow this journey with us. Second Samuel chapter 11. At the return of the year, at the time when kings go out, David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David stayed at Jerusalem. At evening, David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful to look at. David sent and inquired after the woman. One said, Isn't this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, Uriah the Hittite's wife? David sent messengers and took her, and she came into him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned to her house. The woman conceived, and she sent and told David, and said, I am with child. David sent to Joab, Send me Uriah the Hittite. Joab sent Uriah to David. When Uriah had come to him, David asked him how Joab did, and how the people fared, and how the war prospered. David said to Uriah, Go down to your house and wash your feet. Uriah departed out of the king's house, and a gift from the king was sent after him. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and didn't go down to his house. When they had told David, saying Uriah didn't go down to his house, David said to Uriah, Haven't you come from a journey? Why didn't you go down to your house? Uriah said to David, The ark, Israel, and Judah are staying in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open field. Shall I then go into my house to eat and to drink, and to lie with my wife? As you live, and as your soul lives, I will not do this thing. David said to Uriah, Stay here today also, and tomorrow I will let you depart. So Uriah stayed in Jerusalem that day and the next day. When David had called him, he ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk. At evening, he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but didn't go down to his house. In the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. He wrote in the letter saying, Send Uriah to the forefront of the hottest battle and retreat from him, that he may be struck and die. When Joab kept watch on the city, he assigned Uriah to the place where he knew that valiant men were. The men of the city went out and fought with Joab. Some of the people fell. even of David's servants, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war, and he commanded the messenger, saying, "When you have finished telling all the things concerning the war to the king, it shall be that, if the king's wrath arise and he asks you, Why did you go so near to the city to fight? Didn't you know that they would shoot from the wall? Who struck Abimelech the son of Jerubbesheth? Didn't a woman cast an upper millstone on him from the wall, so that he died at Thebez? Why did you go so near the wall? Then you shall say, Your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead." So the messenger went and came and showed David all that Joab had sent him for. The messenger said to David, "The men prevailed against us, and came out to us into the field, and we were on them even to the entrance of the gate. The shooters shot at your servants from off the wall, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead." Then David said to the messenger, "Tell Joab, don't let this thing displease you, for the sword devours one as well as another. Make your battle stronger against the city, and overthrow it. Encourage him." When Uriah's wife heard that Uriah her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. When the mourning was past, David sent and took her home to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased Yahweh. 2 Samuel chapter 12. Yahweh sent Nathan to David. He came to him and said to him, "There were 2 men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had very many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing, except one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and raised. It grew up together with him and with his children. It ate of his own food, drank of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was like a daughter to him. A traveler came to the rich man, and he didn't want to take of his own flock and of his own herd to prepare for the wayfaring man who had come to him, but took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for the man who had come to him. David's anger burned hot against the man, and he said to Nathan, "As Yahweh lives, the man who has done this deserves to die. He must restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing and because he had no pity." Nathan said to David, "You are the man. This is what Yahweh, the God of Israel, says. I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you out of the hand of Saul. I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your bosom, and gave you the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that would have been too little, I would have added to you many more such things. Why have you despised Yahweh's word, to do that which is evil in his sight? You have struck Uriah the Hittite with the sword, have taken his wife to be your wife, and have slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword will never depart from your house, because you have despised me, and have taken Uriah the Hittite's wife to be your wife. This is what Yahweh says. Behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he will lie with your wives in the sight of this sun. For you did this secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun." David said to Nathan, "I have sinned against Yahweh." Nathan said to David, "Yahweh also has put away your sin. You will not die. However, because by this deed you have given great occasion to Yahweh's enemies to blaspheme, the child also who is born to you will surely die." Then Nathan departed to his house. Yahweh struck the child that Uriah's wife bore to David, and he was very sick. David therefore begged God for the child, and David fasted, and went in and lay all night on the ground. The elders of his house arose beside him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not, and he didn't eat bread with them. On the 7th day the child died. David's servants were afraid to tell him that the child was dead, for they said, "Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spoke to him, and he didn't listen to our voice. How will he then harm himself if we tell him that the child is dead?" But when David saw that his servants were whispering together, David perceived that the child was dead. And David said to his servants, "Is the child dead?" They said, "He is dead." Then David arose from the earth, and washed and anointed himself, and changed his clothing. and he came into Yahweh's house and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he requested, they set bread before him, and he ate. Then his servants said to him, "What is this that you have done? You fasted and wept for the child while he was alive, but when the child was dead, you rose up and ate bread." He said, "While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, 'Who knows whether Yahweh will not be gracious to me, that the child may live?' But now he is dead. Why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I will go to him, but he will not return to me." David comforted Bathsheba his wife, and went in to her, and lay with her. She bore a son, and he called his name Solomon. Yahweh loved him, and he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and he named him Jedidiah for Yahweh's sake. Now Joab fought against Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and took the royal city. Joab sent messengers to David and said, "I have fought against Rabbah. Yes, I have taken the city of waters. Now therefore gather the rest of the people together, and encamp against the city and take it, lest I take the city, and it be called by my name." David gathered all the people together and went to Rabbah, and fought against it, and took it. He took the crown of their king from off his head, and its weight was a talent of gold, and in it were precious stones, and it was set on David's head. He brought a great quantity of plunder out of the city. He brought out the people who were in it, and put them to work under saws, under iron picks, under axes of iron, and made them go to the brick kiln, and he did so to all the cities of the children of Ammon. Then David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. 1 Chronicles, chapter 20. At the time of the return of the year, at the time when kings go out, Joab led out the army, and wasted the country of the children of Ammon, and came and besieged Rabbah. But David stayed at Jerusalem. Joab struck Rabbah and overthrew it. David took the crown of their king from off his head, and found it to weigh a talent of gold, and there were precious stones in it. It was set on David's head, and he brought very much plunder out of the city. He brought out the people who were in it, and had them cut with saws, with iron picks, and with axes. David did so to all the cities of the children of Ammon. Then David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. After this, war arose at Gaza with the Philistines. Then Sibbecai the Hushathite killed Sippai of the sons of the giant, and they were subdued. Again there was war with the Philistines, and Elhanan the son of Jair killed Lahmi, the brother of Goliath the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. There was again war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature, who had 24 fingers and toes, 6 on each hand and 6 on each foot, and he also was born to the giant. When he defied Israel, Jonathan the son of Shimeah, David's brother, killed him. These were born to the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. We close here day 133 of our chronological journey through the Word. In 2 Samuel 11 and 12, we saw the fall of the king, the look from the rooftop, the death letter for Uriah, and Nathan's sentence in 3 Hebrew words, "You are the man." We also saw forgiveness without the sword departing. David confessed, Yahweh put away his sin, but the child died, and the royal house entered a long mourning. And at the birth of Solomon, the secret name, Jedidiah, beloved of Yah. In 1 Chronicles 20, the chronicler omits the adultery and focuses on the victory over Rabbah and the death of the Philistine giants descended from Rapha. Day 133 complete.